Hi, YouTube friends. Well, our next poem that I'm going to read is an old favorite of mine. I taught this to my literature students for years. I didn't even know at the time that I was only teaching a portion of it. The textbook editors had shortened and taken out some of the poem for the sake of their textbook. Anyway, this is called Snowbound by John Greenleaf Whittier. Oh, there's Mr. Whittier's name. Yes. And I love this poem. It's just a delight, and it's worth reading the whole thing. I'm only going to read a very short portion to you. Mr. Whittier lived pretty much the entire 19th century, and he lived out in the countryside in Massachusetts. This is toward the very beginning of the poem when the snowstorm is first coming. They've had a little dusting of snow, and then it got dark at night. And this is how I love his descriptions. They're just fabulous. The gray day darkened into night, a night made hoary with the swarm and whirl dance of the blinding storm, as zigzag wavering to and fro crossed and recrossed the winged snow. And ere the early bedtime came, the white drift piled the window frame, and through the glass the clothesline post looked in like tall and sheeted ghosts. So all night long the storm roared on. The morning broke without a sun. In tiny spherule traced with lines of nature's geometric signs, in starry flake and pellicle, all day the hoary meteor fell. And when the second morning shone, we looked upon a world unknown, on nothing we could call our own. Around the glistening wonder bent the blue walls of the firmament, no cloud above, no earth below, a universe of sky and snow. The old familiar sights of ours took marvelous shapes. Strange domes and towers rose up where sty or corn crib stood, or garden wall, or belt of wood. A smooth white mound the brush pile showed, a fenceless drift that once was road. The bridle post, an old man sat, with loose flung cloak and high cocked hat. The well curb had a Chinese roof, and even the long sweep high aloof in its slant splendor seemed to tell of Pisa's leaning miracle. A prompt, decisive man, no breath our father wasted. Boys, a path. Well pleased, for when did farmer boy count such a summons less than joy? Our buskins on our feet we drew, with mittened hands and caps drawn low to guard our necks and ears from snow. We cut the solid whiteness through, and where the drift was deepest, made a tunnel, walled and overlaid with dazzling crystal. We had read of rare Aladdin's wondrous cave, and to our own his name we gave. With many a wish the luck were ours to test his lamp's supernal powers. We reached the barn with merry din and roused the prisoned brutes within. And they have many more adventures during the snowstorm, and then it finally melts and they get to see their neighbors again. It's very, very fun. I grew up in a part of the United States that we didn't have snow for years sometimes. And I love to read stories about people getting snowed in where they can't leave their homes. To me, that seemed the epitome of magical and cozy, which is ridiculous. So, Snowbound by John Greenleaf Whittier. Give that a look if you can find it. Imagine actually that one's free on the internet.